You know, every single one of us who gardens is chasing that same dream, right? We want to create that perfect soil, that perfect little world where our plants can absolutely thrive. Well, today, we're going to break down exactly how you can do that. Let's get into it.
Okay, we have all been here. You're trying so hard to give your plants exactly what they need, especially when it gets hot out. But there's always that fear, am I giving them too much? Am I going to cause root rot? It's the stressful balancing act, isn't it? One day they look thirsty, the next they look like they're drowning. What if you could just take all that guesswork out of watering?
Well, let me introduce you to Terawet. To put it simply, it's a superabsorbent polymer. Just imagine these little bitty granules as millions of tiny water reservoirs that you mix right into your soil. And because it's potassium-based, you're also adding a little bonus nutrient right where the plant needs it most.
All right, you need to brace yourself for this number because it is absolutely mind-blowing. Just 1 kilogram of these dry little granules can soak up and hold on to 400 liters of water. No, that is not a typo. You're basically turning one small bag of this stuff into hundreds of liters of available water, locked and loaded right there in your soil. And this is where the real magic happens. Terawet doesn't just flood the soil. It creates this gel that holds on to the water, and it only lets it go when the plant's roots say, hey, I'm thirsty. The plant is completely in charge. So what does that mean? It means no more root rot from soggy soil, and no more stress from a sudden dry spell. It is literally an on-demand watering system, built right around the roots.
Okay, so we know what this stuff is, but how do we actually use it? Let's start at the very beginning with the most fragile stage of a plant's life, creating the perfect soil mix for your seedlings.
Honestly, the process couldn't be any easier. You just take your favorite soil or potting mix, and before you add a drop of water, you mix in the dry Terawet granules. Now the key here is to mix it really, really well. You want to make sure those little reservoirs are everywhere, ready for the roots to find them.
And the dosage is so simple. If you're doing a big batch of soil, maybe for large trays or planter boxes, the ratio is easy, about 1 kilogram for every cubic meter of soil. But what about for the rest of us, starting seeds in little individual pots? Well, it's as simple as adding a tiny pinch. We're talking just 0.2 to 0.4 grams into each pot. So easy to scale for any size garden.
All right, your seedlings are looking strong, and it's time for the big move into the garden. Now, this can be a really stressful time for a plant, but there's a way to make it a completely seamless, stress-free transition.
This is just a brilliant little two-step technique. First, you make a gel. Just mix about 5 to 7 grams of Terawet into a liter of water, and you dip the plant's bare roots right into it. That gel just clings on, giving the roots this protective, hydrating blanket. Then, you toss a little pinch of the dry granules into the planting hole. So when you put the plant in and give it that first big drink of water, you're not just watering the plant, you're charging up its personal, long-term water supply right where it's needed most.
So, you've put in this little bit of extra effort up front. What's the payoff? Well, the results are pretty amazing. A whole lot less work for you and much, much healthier plants.
Let's look at the biggest game changer. I mean, this chart says it all. Because you've created this water reservoir in the soil, you can cut your watering by up to 50%. Let that sink in. Half the watering. Think of all the time, all the water, and all the effort you'll save, even in just one season. So let's just put this side by side, because this is where it really clicks. Without Terawet, you're constantly watering, your plants are getting stressed from going wet to dry, and your fertilizer is literally just washing away. But with Terawet, your watering is cut in half, the roots stay healthy and hydrated, and get this, your fertilizer is up to 40% more effective because it's not getting washed out. It is a total win-win.
Of course, it's totally natural to wonder, what am I actually putting in my soil? Well, Terawet is completely non-toxic. It's safe for your plants, for the tiny microbes in the soil, for birds, for fish, the whole ecosystem. It has a neutral pH, so it won't mess with your soil chemistry. Plus, as the little granules expand and contract with water, they actually aerate the soil and improve its structure. It's not just holding water, it's making your soil better. But you know, maybe the most incredible part of all is the longevity. This is not something you have to add every single year. One single application of Terawet keeps on working in your soil, soaking up water, releasing it to your plants for over 10 years. That is an amazing return on your effort. One and done for a decade.
So the question this all leaves us with is a really simple one. By taking a few easy steps right now, you can completely change your garden for the next 10 years. You'll save water, you'll save fertilizer, and you'll grow stronger, happier plants.
It's really just a smarter way to garden.